What if Adam and Eve weren't the first creation in a paradise, but the last survivors of a dying world? Sent across the cosmos as their own civilization crumbled, fleeing extinction. Landing on a raw, untouched Earth, they carried no forbidden knowledge, only the burden of starting over. What if God didn't create the Earth for us? We conquered it, and the garden was just the home we left behind.
Observations of Albion by Michael Woodhouse and Kai Campagnac. Available now, exclusive to Lulu's online bookstore.
Hello?
And welcome to Books, Life and Way Beyond. I'm Matthew Young, and the reason we're here is, of course, Woodhouse Stories with Michael Woodhouse there.
Hello.
How's your week been? Let's start with that.
Yeah, it's been a very good week. I mean, every week seems to be another new adventurous week. This week it's been no different. Went to Iceland today because I got called into. Anyway, I won't go into that. Went to Iceland with the wife, and I thought I'd get some of these offers from Iceland, and it's like you can get 5 for £6 or something like that. And I thought I followed the whole thing, and £175 at the checkout, a massive queue behind me, and I didn't have the energy to go, can you just check my receipt? Because there was a massive queue. So I was quite peed off with that, to be honest. What about you?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say, of course, there's plenty of offers in all the other places as well. I just have to cover that, don't you? I've had quite an annoying week, to be honest. I'm, okay, but just some things have really bugged me this week. Maybe we'll go into that later. But, of course, we're here for Woodhouse Stories. And, of course, as you say, we look at different stories that you've done, obviously available on Lulu, is it? And
Lulu and Amazon Books, Amazon Kindle, and some on Spotify.
And if you're new, thank you very much. You know you need to like and subscribe and all the rest of it. Let us know you're out there. And if you're interested in joining us for a chat, we normally do this like Saturday tea time recordings around those sort of times. So if you're interested in joining us for a chat or comments, and let us know what down below as well. We're looking at what was it, the Blast Pen Pal, wasn't it today?
Yes, one of my first books that went a bit sci-fi-ish. I never planned it to be sci-fi. Originally, the book's about a guy who's writing to this guy in America. Anyway, there's a massive secret in Parliament and around the world about the end of the world is coming. And this guy who's part of politics in America has sent a letter to the guy in England saying the world's going to end. That's his last pen pal. And the actual idea of the book is there's when this world in real life, because I like looking into religion and all that kind of stuff, and I'm an atheist. I respect all religions because I like to look at the history and stuff, and so I've dived into the history of all, from Buddhist to Muslim to Christian, all that kind of stuff, and every other 125 I've just missed out. Anyway, so they look at the prospect of when this Earth dies, what happens, and the idea is that this Earth now wasn't brought here by the Big Bang, and it wasn't brought here by this this figure of God, which religion sees it. If this Earth was taken over by the human race when the humans left another planet, i.e. probably Mars, the one that's burning, all that kind of stuff. So we've left the planet burning after a world war erupts and then everything goes mad, and we just kill the planet, and then we move to another planet, which is Earth, and we do the exact same thing. We kill everything on that Earth, and then
humans never learn.
Exactly. And so this next one, this book then goes to current day, where the world's going to end and the VIPs have got a spaceship to leave to go to the next planet. And the VIPs are the Queen, the President of the United States, all them kind of VIPs, the ones who don't really matter. And then you've got people like this guy who is the last pen pal to the pen pal in America, who get on this spaceship. Now, there's a guy called Adam, and he falls in love with a lady called Eve. And so when they first get to the next planet, and they conceive the very first baby, now then religion on that planet then starts up, because the rumors of Adam and Eve have had a baby. Then the whole story of religion then unfolds, and to realize that God and Mary had an affair when God was with Jesus. And it's like, wow, all this stuff had a purpose because they're all bloody human beings. Anyway, yeah, that's the book. It's very interesting, and I think it's one of the most books. It's one of the books I haven't promoted that much recently because of the fact it is very religious and on the edge.
I think a lot of religion covers so much and I think you're right. You've got to have respect for all, even if you're got your own religion. To me, it's one of those subjects that if you want yours to be respected, you have to respect others. It's one of those give and take subjects. It's like many things in life. If you're not willing to give respect, how do you expect to receive it? Whether that's in mind, whether that's in topics, whether that's in your family, friends, whatever. It's one of those you have to learn to give and take, and it's actually not going to agree with everything, of course. So have you ever had a real pen pal?
Have I ever had a real pen pal? Actually, I did. And he's in prison now. No, I'm joking.
Well, there's actually, they do schemes like that. Let's be honest, though, don't they? They do schemes, genuine schemes. Well, they used to. I presume they still do.
I had a pen pal when I was younger. Part of the MS Society was this buddy thing to help people, young kids, connect with each other. And I've never been one to socialise. You know what I'm like, Matt? I keep myself to myself, and I'll contact you. We'll meet up once a year, and then we'll chat like once a week on the phone or something. But I never go out my way to make anything happen. So back in them days, my mum was like saying, you need to speak to other kids who are in the same place as you. I was like, I don't want to speak to nobody. I'm just happy. So I had this pen pal, which was this girl. I can't remember her name now. And I wrote a very short letter and sent it out, and then she wrote this massive letter back, and I must have been like 8 or 10. And I remember reading the first few lines. I thought, oh shit, I can't be asked. So I
deal with that. Yeah, I think I had similar. I had a pen pal. I suppose in some ways I had two. One slightly later in life, which I kind of regret not keeping some sort of contact in some way. But yeah, just similar to yourself, really. When I was like, put me in the eye. When I was just like younger, and you just pen pals were quite a thing in those days, before emails and dial-up internets and all the rest of it. As you say, it's difficult because you are opening yourself up to somebody, and that's the point of it. But yeah, I think if anyone can still have a pen pal, and go for it. In trouble is the cost of stamps nowadays, of course, and that's why we do emails. But
And I mean, have you ever known someone who's a pen pal who can then send you spam? That quite amusing to think. But yeah, so
I don't look in the spam box, it scare me, so I just ignore that. But yeah, so okay, let's move on to the next bit, which is normally TV or film review. So anything there for yourself?
okay, so my TV is going to be the World Cup. So 2 nights ago, I don't know what my wife's doing out there, but she's spraying some kind of thing. It's like she thinks she's in. I know I'm not going to go to that joke. So you'll have to remind me of the question. I'm so sorry.
World Cup.
That's it. Thank you. So 2 nights ago, there was a match where there was a game with it was 2-0 up, and then suddenly it was 3-2. Do you know who that was?
Wasn't Spain? Spain won 3-0. It's one of the bigger ones, and they went 2-0 down, didn't they? Was it Belgium?
I'm not.
I think it was Belgium. I think Belgium went 2-0 down, and they literally brought it back in the injury time, if I believe.
Yeah, well, it was the Leanne Shelton Congo. I don't know if that's right or not. But when I was at work, this one of our chefs, he said to me about this game. No, I'm not a massive football supporter, I'm not. Right? But I watch the England matches. So he said about this match, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a watch. I went on YouTube, and oh my God, the intensity that you just got from seeing these underdogs just come back with rebellion and kind of getting 3 goals in was amazing.
Yeah, it was a bit like the game recently. Obviously, this is coming up Monday. We're talking Saturday with the Argentina game, and that how that ended. I kind of watched a little bit. Argentina went out, skipped over for a bit, and I checked back at half time, and I continued watching it from the rest of it. So I'm pleased I did. As you say, there were doubts, as we said, about the World Cup. Was there too many countries? But I think if you've not watched it all and overloaded yourself, those games probably have been few and far, but have made that little bit of memories. As I say, in every World Cup, he did that. So for me, obviously, I normally cop the films. So this bit I've seen 2. I saw one at lunchtime. I got your message literally as I was coming out of the cinema. And that was the Minions and Monsters. I just went for the sake of it. Don't ask me why, but I just went for the sake of it. And yesterday we went to see The Invite, which actually was surprisingly, not going to say surprising, because it was one of those, you're not sure, what the story's about, but some of them can drag on. Some of them can be, you can walk away think, actually, that was a really good film. I'm going to go in the middle of that. So it's surprisingly good. And the acting, I think, is one of Seth's best, which is actually quite surprising because he can play quite annoying roles with all the drugs and just, downbeat. As well as that's still in there, I will say that. But I think acting-wise, it's probably one of his better ones because there are good facial expressions, good one-liners, good expressions, good arguments between the couples. You probably don't even know what storyline I'm talking about.
No, because I've never seen or heard of The Invite. Sorry, I've never seen or heard of The Invites before.
So what it is, it's literally filmed in one flat. It's like Seth and his actress wife, as a couple, having difficulties, like most. And she invites neighbours from upstairs down, and they sort of cross paths but never spoken with. So, and then they get the argument, why did you invite them? I'm not ready, I've been out, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And of course, so they come along, and then there's awkward situations because they hear, not the people invited, but they hear them busy doing things upstairs. And he wants to say, can you quiet it down? And she's trying to avoid him saying things like that. And of course, and then as it goes on, it does come up open. But they actually want to open themselves up to them because they say they have group sessions, or split or try other people. Let's put it that way. So then it becomes like, oh, really? What do we think about this sort of thing? So yeah, if you, it's one of those that can make you think if you have relationship difficulties. But it is a film. But I think there will be people who can relate one way or another, whether it's just with each other or whether it's like having fun with each other, whatever. So there are different ways. But yeah, so
is it a comedy?
I wouldn't say it's classed as a comedy, but there are certainly moments in there where you have a little snigger. Should we say like that?
Is it worth going to the cinema to see?
Possibly wait until TV. I think if you're like me, you've got a cinema pass.
Yeah,
Go watch it. But will I spend £10-15? Probably not. But no. I didn't certainly not walk away thinking, oh, I didn't enjoy that. That was a waste of time, all that sort of stuff. It was actually, I come away thinking, yeah, that's quite good. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, because it is all in one location. So, it is more about the acting than the actual taking advantage of big explosions and comedy things out and about, So it is pretty good acting in that way. Of course, it's got Penelope Cruz in it as well. Things. So yeah, don't want to give too much away, of course. Minions is fine.
Yeah,
it's pretty much what you see on the advert.
I don't know how many times they can do stuff with Minions. I think it's cheating.
Yeah, I have to admit, it was in the screen one, obviously the biggest screen at my local cinema, and there weren't that many people in it. So I don't know whether the fact that Toy Story is perhaps still dominating it in the family area. So I was surprised at how little, being a Saturday afternoon, there was in there. My showing was like 12:30. So it was a good time for families. So, yeah, whether it's been too many or whether it's been because two Toy Stories on, obviously, if you're taking a family, it's not cheap to take a family to a cinema.
No.
So yeah. So there's Minions. It's fine. It's fun. It is what it is. It is what's in the trailer. That's all I can really say about it.
Well, so we watched. This is going back a few months back, but it's kind of relevant where I don't watch a lot of things, and then suddenly we find this old TV show that I've never seen, and we watch it, and then I'm addicted to it. And it's called Him and Hers. Him and Her. Sorry, have you seen it?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's on BBC iPlayer. It's a fantastic TV show. I don't think it's worthwhile getting to pay for your TV license to maybe YouTube it. No, I mean you've got to pay for it anyway. But no, it's a fantastic comedy about a couple. You were saying about relationship issues. Well, this is a young couple who they're just a normal young couple where he's always after sex, she's always just bonkers, and together they are just a traditional little family. It's really funny.
Yeah,
and, yeah, it's really good.
Saying about streaming services, it is worth mentioning Amazon Prime. They've now got Project Hail Mary, which was at the cinema 2-3 months ago now, and that is a really good, worth watch. That one's definitely worth it. Very cleverly done. So that's an Amazon Prime. And for the rom-com people, I don't know whether many people being not aware of this. Again on Amazon Prime, Legally Blonde. You remember Legally Blonde?
Yeah. Well, apparently my wife joined the conversation and she just said, yeah.
I heard, yeah.
I've never seen
it. There is actually a series of that put on Amazon Prime now. Before, the story of that is like she becomes this lawyer chasing the boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. But this is a story of when she was at a college age. So it's before the movie. And the movie is quite a few years ago. Don't ask me how long ago it was. There is a theatre show going on about it. We saw it this year or last year, recently anyway. So there is a new series of a young Elle. It is called Elle on Amazon Prime if you're into that sort of thing as well. So yeah,
You have to
um,
pay for your TV license with Amazon Prime.
yes,
That's a load
any
of
streaming services, and the reason for that now is because a lot of them are showing live sports and live stuff. And
yeah,
because it's live, you have to have a TV license, which is really wrong because you kind of not watching BBC.
yeah.
But
It's wrong. Yeah,
people, BBC isn't just BBC, it's the BBC radio. People forget about that,
and
which
Channel
you
4.
use the iPlayer. You just said you use BBC iPlayer. So you need obviously that is BBC, so
Yeah,
it's easy people to it's weird and it's wrong in some ways that the license is for BBC, but they're saying you need a license for one of the streaming services if you're watching live stuff. You're thinking, well, why? Because I'm not watching BBC.
yeah. Well, that's why I thought it was cheeky when the BBC went with. Obviously, Channel 4 is part of the thing with BBC as well. So it's part of the TV license, apparently. Um, but then they included Coco. She literally just jumped. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you what.
The walnuts.
Yeah. um, so the TV, so Channel 4, ITV, and BBC joined together, and they made this new thing where you could pay to watch all channels together. It was this app, and I thought to myself, wait, the BBC are already charging for the TV license. Obviously, they can't have adverts, but now they're going to be associated with ITV doing this thing, which on this app you need to pay to not have adverts, which is what the BBC's all about anyway.
Yeah. Well, they are talking about Freeview gone by, is it 2036 or so? I think the
Yeah.
2030, whatever it is, that, talking about everything just being over the internet, which I think is really risky. And I know it's more of a modern day thing from me. You're probably into it more than me, but it's probably very risky to put everything over the internet because you've only got to have a few cables cut or destroyed in some way, then you've lost everything.
Yeah.
And there's so many vulnerable people and hams, as we know, who rely on their TV and stuff like that. It's just very risky to put it all your cards in one box, we say. Which kind of moves me on to the next bit, which I'm going to call life, really, because it's very similar. One of the things that has annoyed me this week is Sony. Sony and
Oh,
PlayStation, you probably know what I'm going to say. I said they're going to do with digital discs. Digital discs. I've always vowed I would never go completely digital. Purely because if I buy a game, I can play through it, I can trade it in, I can pass it to friends, I can get some of my money back. Or if it's a long-standing game like Farming Simulator, Call of Duty, that can last a year or beyond. But if it's a story one, that can keep me rolling. I'll play through it as quick as I can without overloading myself, trade it in, and then use that money to either pay back paying for it or to save it for the next game. So here's my thing with Sony, all digital. And this counts for today as well. Where's the trading standards in that? Because if you can only buy it from one store online, where's the competition?
yeah.
Where is it if you have a problem downloading it? Trying to contact somebody must be ridiculous.
Yeah.
What? And going back to like digital, you got so many stores or companies who sell this. Are they putting jobs at risk in those stores? Yeah, you're talking like, I don't know, let's just say, toy stores, supermarkets that sell digital discs. It's the same as DVDs and Blu-rays. We've seen them slowly shrink and shrink. The fact that, there could be jobs at risk because obviously they're not going to be selling. Sometimes if you go in and buy a game, you might see another one in there. You might see something else in that store, which is good for those stores. So where is the equal or the opportunity? They reckon the new PlayStation could be £1,000 or so. And everyone could jump arms in that. But a gaming PC, in itself can be £1,000. So, you know, it's a difficult one, but I do not believe, again, in going all digital. I think that right should not be taken away.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to walk around here, trying to keep my signal and stop that noise. No, I was so, and I knew that you were going to bring this up today. To find out that they're going discless is just a very stupid idea, in my opinion, and it puts me off buying the next PlayStation, because
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm not sure if I'm going to. I might do, depends on my situation at the time. But I don't know. You
because
know,
because in my eyes, right? I mean, the same with films now, but the film thing's different because you've got Netflix, you've got all these different platforms where it's not the same for. It's not like there's just one Sony DVD player that's now showing films.
well,
You
that's
get
what I'm
films,
saying about like competition and
yeah,
regulation. Like, you know, you get this Ofsted, you're supposed to have shops are supposed to be competing against each other to make the market. You know, it's like now if you buy a game off Sony's PlayStation Store, I can bet that's just for instance, it'd be £60. Why is it the same price that you would buy in a shop? And I can guarantee I can go to a shop and get it for 55,
yeah.
where you haven't got a case, you haven't got a cover, you haven't got a disc, you haven't got a third party getting some of that money. So how can Sony charge you more for a digital download, which is just a download, than all this other stuff? Which is why Sony's doing it to knock that off. But
Yeah.
it's very, you know.
But the problem is, say if you locked yourself out your account, or God knows you forgot your email address and you can't recover your email address, and do you mean all that kind of stuff? Then you can't just get a disc, put it in and
No.
play your game. I mean, because I used to love, and I still do. If I get a game, including like the latest wrestling games, I'll go to the local shop and buy
Yeah, because you want to support local, don't you, as well?
yeah, and like you just get it from there. And I mean, who? I mean, I think PlayStation are going to go discless, and then realize that they fluffed up, and then a year
Either
after,
that, or it's going to lead to other things doing it. Obviously, Xbox could well follow, or we could see a complete do away with Blu-rays and DVDs as well. So that's one of our minds. You know,
well, for my life bit, it's going to be short and sweet. And it's more of a question. It's who called in sick today?
who? Anyone? You?
No, because the World Cup was last night. No, wait. Is it Is it Sunday night, the World Cup, or Monday night?
Well, it's Monday night, Sunday night, Monday morning. Let's call it that. 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, cool. So like the WrestleMania kind of things used to be. So Sunday night, who's going to be waking up Monday morning with a very, very bad head going, oh, I can't make it to work, and getting away with it?
Well, obviously, if you're a company that can deal with it, you could try and say, look, do you guys want to start later? It depends on the business itself, you know.
I think it's crazy how like so the government's now allowing pubs to stay open longer, and it's like, yeah, and some schools are considering closing on that Monday, but it's not okay to let families take their kids away when it's cheaper. That just makes no sense. It's okay for the World Cup that not everyone on this earth cares about, but I think the main concern for me in this whole World Cup thing, especially for Monday, is that everyone's going to be watching it, knowing that it could have been brought forward because of the storm. It's going to start, and then there's going to be a hurricane, and it's just going to get stopped anyway. And everyone's going to be 2 in the morning, pissed up.
There's still slight talk of rescheduling, but I think we have to wait and see. Even bringing it forward an hour will help a lot of people. Just that 1 hour can make a big difference. Let's face it, you talk about children. How many children are actually going to be able to cope with staying awake? Because a lot of them who, no disrespect to them, who can deal with the tiredness are going to be like your 14, 15-year-olds who are probably finishing school now anyway, or probably only in there because they're revising for exams or so, I think, So there's not going to be too many people in that. And to me, what annoying to me, and brought up like wrestling or whatever, American stuff, is as soon as you get up, you hear it on your Facebook, things, I don't want to know. I want an opportunity of seeing it first. Give me a chance to, I'll record it. I'll probably watch the first half and see how things are going. But I've got work Monday, and I'm not going there. I'm normally up till quite late anyway, so chances are I probably would have been up for the first half anyway.
Quick question, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Predict the outcome for that match.
Oh, I think England will win.
Really?
Like 2-0, 2-1. Yeah. I think that most teams now, England, have been playing this World Cup, have literally just been hard to break down. So once you get that first goal, they have to open up a bit more. Obviously, Mexico, as we say, the difficulty is Mexico got an advantage being at home. And obviously, they say with the environment and the oxygen, and but I don't really know how many Mexican players actually play in Mexico for that to really be a massive advantage, I don't know. But so
let's see if we can beat Mexico in their home place.
Let's hope so. So I think we'll just do are we going to do our story today, or shall we leave it? Yeah, so we're going to finish this off because we've rambled on mostly about films and World Cup a bit more today, which is fine. But so thank you for joining us. We hope that you can, as I say, join us. If you've got any questions, anything you want us to try and talk about, opinions about, that's absolutely fine. Just forward it in comments, or maybe come join us even. So this last bit here, we just do for like 1 minute. And it's just like a made-up story, because obviously we're house for Woodhouse Stories. That's the whole point of doing this little get-together and chat, to try and promote people being independent stories, or maybe your songwriter even, of course, out there, So, completely unscripted. You went first last time, so it's my turn to go first. And I ain't got a clue what I'm going to do here, but I'm going to push start. Okay. It was an evening. The sun settled. Our lead was walking towards the sea. As he looked around, he saw
a boat, and our lead saw the people on the boat, and he said, "Jump off." So the guys jumped off the boat and went up to our lead, and our lead said,
"Well, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I just come along the road and I saw this and I saw that, and I thought I saw a bird, but the boat was on the anchor. But I tried to pull the anchor, but it wouldn't move. Why wouldn't it move?"
It wouldn't move because the anchor was stuck to 5 of the guys who were holding it, who were drowning in the sea.
"Oh, Betty, that's not very nice. Time to go, everybody." Bye-bye.
That sounded really like Frank Spencer.
Oh no, he's not. We're gonna go. We're running late now. We're going overtime. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone.
Thank you much, everyone. See you later.
Cheers, Matt.
Bye.